So I want to start with these. Yeah, go ahead.
I've never seen a polka dotted tamale, but let's go.
All right. So these matchups with Republicans, pretty striking to us. Hillary Clinton loses to Mitt Romney, barely beats Paul Ryan within the margin of error of Rand Paul. How surprised are you that in a state that President Obama carried pretty handily twice, that Hillary Clinton is neck and neck with those three Republicans?
Yeah, a little bit. She's not going to scare anybody off with those sorts of numbers, though. But let's not forget, Mark, Obama did carry by 6 points last time. But this is a very purple state. Bush carried it in 04. They elect as many Republicans as Democrats. And when I look at that Republican field against her, Mitt Romney says he's not going to run. We'll see. Paul Ryan's going to be Ways and Means Committee chair. What really impresses me really is Rand Paul. He does better than all the others, and he's within the margin of error with her. Now, I think that's really noteworthy.
That is a little surprising. Just stay with that for 1 second. Rand Paul ahead of both Chris Christie and Jeb Bush, who are presumed more Republican favorites. Does that surprise you as much as it surprises me?
Well, yeah, because the line from establishment Republicans is we need a Chris Christie or a Jeb Bush because they can win in a general. And a Rand Paul, the others can't win, but Rand Paul does better than they do in what will be a very contested general election state.
All right, let's look at the Senate poll, at the results of the Senate poll too, Al. Here we have a neck-and-neck race. Bruce Braley with 46, Joni Ernst with 47. Ernst was up a couple weeks ago when the last Iowa poll took place. Joni Ernst was up by 6 points. Braley has closed there. What do you see in the crosstabs that's interesting to you beyond the top-line number?
Well, I guess it's not surprising, John, but Joni Ernst, of course, they hope maybe they would bridge the gender gap a little bit. They have not, but she's doing a lot better with men. There's about a 15, 16-point gap, with Braley doing better with women and Ernst doing better with men. I guess the thing that really did jump out at me was that Joni Ernst, a very conservative Republican, does a lot better with younger voters than does Bruce Braley.
Al, go ahead, crazy speculate. Why is she doing so well with younger voters, do you think?
Well, you know, they probably like hog castrators. That was
huge with the youngsters
ad.
these days.
It really does. Boy, does that resonate. I'm not sure the answer, Mark, but I think if Brady wants to win this thing, he's got to close that gap.
Yeah. So, Al, the two most popular politicians in Iowa, according to our poll, are two guys who I would say could not be less alike. Terry Branstad, the current Republican governor who's going to cruise to re-election, and Bill Clinton. What is it about Iowans that they like those two guys?
Well, I'm throwing Chuck Grassley, too, who's enormously popular.
Right.
Can you imagine anybody more different than Grassley and the big dog? I think that they are authentic figures to Iowans. They're authentic political figures. And I think Bill Clinton comes across as someone who identifies with them. Terry Branstad, who's about to be elected for the 6th time, certainly identifies with Iowans. And it transcends ideology, as it does in a lot of states, Mark.
Al, last question is, I think about how President Obama, his star has faded in Iowa. That was the state, obviously, that launched him to national prominence in 2008. He won the state again in 2012. But our poll shows him with a high disapproval rating in the state overall. Only about 27% of voters saying they support him as much as they used to. Do you think that hurts President Obama when he hears that even in Iowa, he has suffered so much?
Oh, it's got to, because that state has a 4.5% unemployment rate. The economy's doing a lot better. As you said, this is what started him. He carried it twice. It's got to hurt. The other thing, John, that was striking to me was to look at how hawkish, at least for now, Iowans are. Henry Wallace has turned over in his gravestone.